It all began in the quiet little town of Greenhill, nestled between rolling hills and blooming meadows. The kind of town where everyone knows everyone, and change is met with a mix of curiosity and suspicion. Emma Carter was the town's firecracker, passionate, headstrong, and fiercely protective of everything Greenhill stood for. She ran her late mother's flower shop on Main Street, and had an opinion about everything, especially when it came to outsiders. Liam Brooks was that outsider. An ambitious architect from the city, he returned to Greenhill with plans that didn't exactly fit the town's rustic charm. His father, a powerful developer, wanted to turn Greenhill's historic garden into a sleek modern plaza. Liam was tasked with making it happen. And that's where the war started. When Emma first met Liam, it wasn't just dislike, it was war at first sight. She saw him as arrogant, cold and out of touch. He saw her as stubborn, dramatic, and annoyingly loud. Their arguments became the town's favorite drama. But fate, as always, had other plans. At a heated town meeting, just when it looked like the whole project would fall apart, the mayor, a wise old woman named Mrs. Thompson, made a surprise announcement. Emma and Liam would co-lead the project together. No backing out, no second opinions. Forced to work side by side, the two clashed at every corner. Emma wanted to preserve the garden's soul. Liam wanted progress. Late-night arguments over blueprints turned into silent coffee breaks. And slowly, something shifted. One evening, while visiting the garden site, a sudden storm forced them to take shelter in the old gardener's shack. With nothing but the sound of rain, and the scent of flowers around them, the masks began to slip. Liam, usually so guarded, spoke about his mother, how she loved flowers, how they used to walk through that same garden when he was a boy. Emma listened, for once without interrupting. She saw the pain behind his ambition, the fear of failure behind his pride. From that night on, the tension between them took a different shape, not softer, but deeper. They still argued, over designs, timelines, even coffee brands. But there was laughter between the jabs. Glances that lingered a little too long. Moments where the world around them seemed to fade. Then came the night of the almost kiss. They had just finished laying out the final plans in the moonlit garden. Fireflies floated between the bushes. For one breathless moment they stood close. Close enough to hear each other's heartbeat. Liam leaned in. Emma didn't move away. But just before their lips met, she turned. Reality came crashing back the next day. Emma discovered Liam hadn't pulled out of the original development deal with his father. She felt betrayed, foolish for letting her guard down. The trust that had just begun to grow shattered instantly. Liam tried to explain that he was working on a secret revision, one that would preserve the garden while still adding new life to the town. But Emma wasn't ready to listen. Days passed. The town buzzed with gossip, but Liam stayed quiet. Instead of words, he used what he knew best: design. He spent sleepless nights redrawing every corner of the project, adding flower beds, benches, winding paths, even a memorial for Emma's mother. One morning, Emma found a rolled-up blueprint on her doorstep. Attached was a single rose, and a note that simply said, "For you, for her, for us." Tears welled in her eyes. That night, under the fireflies and the stars, Emma found him in the garden. She didn't say much. Neither did he. But sometimes love doesn't need big words. Just the right ones. "I hated you," she whispered. "I know," he smiled. "I think I still might," she teased. "But you love me anyway," he said, taking her hand. She didn't deny it. The garden was saved. The town embraced the project, and two enemies, once worlds apart, had somehow built something beautiful together. Not just a space, but a love story no one saw coming. And years later, in that same garden, surrounded by the same flowers that once watched them fight and fall, Emma and Liam said their vows, from enemies to soulmates.